I watched the 1951 Mikio Naruse's film called Repast. Japanese title is Meshi. Just meal, I think. So this is based on the story by Fumiko Hayashi. I think Naruse directed 6 fictions by Fumiko Hayashi, and with Naruse's film, with that one, which deal with this very sad dependent woman, but strong-willed dependent woman story. Putting a cloud. So when I started to watch this particular movie, Repast, very, very gloomy, the sad type of feeling in the very, very from the outset. And I said, oh, again, I have to endure this. And but I endured, and just because I think Mikio Naruse's directions, and also Setsuko Hara's acting in there, Setsuko Hara and Ken Uehara, and I think the husband is more or less like a sincere person, but it's kind of a boring and maybe a very rigid person, and not so loving to his wife, I would say. So wife is a housewife, and who grew up in Tokyo, but moved to Osaka because husband's work, and so therefore it has this connotations of maybe unsatisfied, bored wife, which is very, very common in Japanese marriage, that the woman is typically that bored and unsatisfied with her marriage. So it depicts that. And in the meantime, her friends and the niece and all these people visit, and it gives you a little bit snippets of different societies norms at that time. Especially this niece, young niece, who is pretty, but who is very self-centered. And dependent on others' good wishes. She kind of flirt with this husband, and that made this Setsuko Hara's character, dissatisfied, and so all these dissatisfactions, ennui maybe of the marriage, culminated that she lived to Tokyo, where she was born, and she, to begin with, she didn't like Osaka that much. She was born in Tokyo, and loved the Tokyo, ambience or whatever, and so she went back there, and so. Yeah, for me, it is kind of a ambivalent film there. It shows this wife's dissatisfaction in marriage, and her decisions to leave the particular household because she got really, really tired, very sick of dealing with all these miscellaneous incidents caused by a husband, and husband is not really he is very nice person depicted in the film, very sincere probably, but also very nice to the other people as well, like neighbors and companies, people, and especially to this niece who visit. So it's all focused on this particular wife who got kind of a disillusioned and unsatisfied with the marriage and going back. And that particular sentiment is maybe, this is based on the Fumiko Hayashi's fiction and popular at the time, I guess. Fumiko Hayashi is a female author and wrote about lots of story about the woman's dissatisfactions of their rank in the men's world, and trying to be independent, but at the same time depend on man, because that society is just like that. All their kind of a sad status of dependency and not being able to break that particular mold. Like for me, it's very uncomfortable to watch, and more or less like I don't know what to take of it. It's just about this woman's I don't know, dependency. In this film especially, I think this dependent characters are all over the place. The niece visit this couple for like staying for a while, because she didn't like the parents' recommendations of arranged marriage, so she decided to leave that house, and assuming that particular aunt's house is accepting it, and assuming that is like more or less like a not telling them, asking them if it's okay to stay with you for a while, but she just completely assumed that is okay, that is probably a way to do, and that is probably she kind of take advantage of it and go there to stay for a while. And that particular sentiment is very, very bothersome for today's audience, I would say, even for Japanese people. I think at that time too, maybe the particular this bold arrogant assumptions of the people accepting you without asking them and without notifying them before, just go there to stay with this household. And so that particular behaviors, it's tremendously bad, but they do that, and I think the Japanese audience kind of accept that particular behavior, knowing a little bit piece by piece of the other materials that I read. Is almost always like this unsatisfied woman's behavior. In one hand, she wants to break up, but on the other hand, she wants to be depending on the husband's, the power or the capacity to live and to financially comfortable life there. And then this film by Naruse. Naruse made a film, 6 films by Fumiko Hayashi, just because it's very common themes there. It was very popular. I think that's one of the reasons Naruse made a film of that kind. And mostly he kind of stayed on the this particular genre of the woman's world in society where women are not appreciated as much. So yeah, that's my opinion of this particular film called Repast.